He who controls the Alpha controls them all.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks of the most grim parts from films from the animated studio DreamWorks.
You were there.
Yes, I was.
Number 10, Alex is taken from his family. Madagascar, escape to Africa.
And when you're bigger, you're gonna be alpha lion just like your daddy.
No one should be ripped from their family, human or animal. Unfortunately for Alex from the Madagascar franchise, this happened to him when he was a young cub.
This one's a beauty. He'll be worth a few bucks.
A run-in with poachers separated him from his parents and led to him growing up at the Central Park Zoo. While their reunion is a heartwarming moment in Escape to Africa, it was still a little bittersweet. After all, Alex wasn't the young child his parents last remembered. He was all grown up. A crucial amount of time that they should have been able to spend together was now lost.
Wow, I was so young. What happened to me?
It was all my fault. I turned my back for a minute and...
It was not your fault.
Number 9, Farquaad tortures the gingerbread man, Shrek.
That's enough! He's ready to talk.
When Lord Farquaad wants answers, he gets them. In Shrek, the villainous leader puts the gingerbread man through the ringer in an attempt to find the other fairy tale creatures. He even has Gingy's legs broken off and threatens to tear off his gumdrop buttons.
Not the buttons! Not my gumdrop button!
We can't lie, DreamWorks managed to take a scene involving torture and make it surprisingly hilarious. But don't let that distract you from the fact that this is still a pretty morbid situation. Even if it's funny for us, it definitely isn't funny for poor Gingy. Thankfully, Farquaad gets his comeuppance when he's eaten by the dragon at the end.
Alright, nobody move. I got a dragon here and I'm not afraid to use it.
Number 8, Frankie is crushed by an anchor, Shark Tale.
Guys, don't leave me alone! Come on, there could be sharks out here!
They say the sea is unforgiving, and that's definitely true in Shark Tale. Early in the film, Frankie, the son of a notorious mob shark, is unexpectedly killed. The fatal blow is revealed to be caused by an anchor that strikes him square on the head. It's a pivotal moment that shapes the entire direction of the plot, and also reminds us that anchors are scary.
I'm so cold. That's just because we're cold-blooded.
Frankie might have been a cold-blooded creature, but seeing him die in such dramatic fashion was a real shock. The movie plays up the shock of the moment with the reaction from Frankie's brother, Lenny.
This is all my fault! I'm so sorry, Frankie! How am I ever gonna explain this to Pop?
Number 7, Shrek loses his family, Shrek Forever After.
You signed it.
So, tell me, what happens now?
Have a nice day.
When Shrek is introduced to an alternate reality where he was never born, things get topsy-turvy. It's not just that Shrek is no longer around, the ogre soon realizes that if he was never born, then he'd never fall in love with Fiona, and as a result, their children would never be born either.
Where are my babies? And where's your wife, Dragon?
Look, Ogre, I think you must have me confused with some other talking donkey. I've never seen you before in my life.
It's a haunting thought that Shrek struggles to grapple with, and when he finds an old toy that would have belonged to his kids in the regular timeline, he cries. While Shrek was unable to fix things and get his happily ever after back, this nightmare reality proved to be a gut punch.
I've never seen a ogre cry.
Number 6, Puss has a panic attack. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I just love the smell of fear.
Part of what makes this spin-off sequel film so great is the way it expertly weaves in serious issues to add an extra layer of depth to our favourite feline. When Death starts to hunt Puss, his facade as a fearless swashbuckler starts crumbling. And in one scene, Puss suffers a full-blown panic attack. He starts hyperventilating and his heart thumps loudly inside his chest.
Puss, what's wrong?
It's a powerful portrayal of a very real situation many people experience. Thankfully, his dog companion, Perrito, is able to provide calming support in his friend's moment of need.
Thank you, Perrito.
Number 5, Colonel's treatment of Spirit. Spirit, stallion of the Cimarron.
The army has dealt with wild horses before. This one will be no different.
If we had to pick just one thing this movie absolutely succeeds at, it would be making us hate the Colonel's guts. Spirit didn't shy away from showing several harsh sequences of the titular horse suffering abuse. When several wranglers fail to domesticate him, the Colonel decides to step in.
It's time to break that horse.
He keeps Spirit tied to a post for several days with nothing around to eat or drink. The scenes can be really tough to watch at times. The Colonel even tries to kill Spirit before the horse is able to break free and escape. Number 4, Mrs. Tweedy's chicken farm cruelty. Chicken Run.
Mr. Tweedy, what is that chicken doing outside the fence?
You might have to be a bit ruthless to run a successful business, but nobody should be this ruthless. Mrs. Tweedy is one seriously angry farm owner, and that shows with her harsh treatment of her chickens. She even kills a chicken named Edwina because she could no longer lay eggs. This might be a farm, but it's more or less portrayed like a prison camp for chickens. Their situation doesn't get any better when Mrs. Tweedy gets the idea to bake them into chicken pies and sell them.
Chickens go in, pies come out.
The prospect of being murdered by a giant machine is a frightening one, so it's no surprise that these chickens are desperate to fly the coop. Number 3, Hiccup loses his dad. How to Train Your Dragon 2. The hooligan tribe endured a lot throughout the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. When Drago Bloodfist enters the fray in the second film, Stoic the Vast prepares for war.
Because Drago Bloodfist is a madman without conscience or mercy.
And if he's built a dragon army,
God's help us all.
He knows how dangerous Drago can be. In the past, Drago had dragons kill Stoic's fellow chieftains, an encounter which Stoic barely survived. When Hiccup's life is threatened by a mind-controlled Toothless, Stoic sacrifices himself to save his son.
Hiccup! Son! Dad! No!
His death and funeral scenes leave the characters in a dark place. If Hiccup losing his leg in the first movie wasn't enough, his dad's death in this sequel continued the trend of difficult themes in the franchise.
I'm not the chief that you wanted me to be. And I'm not the peacekeeper I thought I was. I don't know.
Number 2, Destruction of the Panda Village. Kung Fu Panda 2. When you get told some bad news, you might feel like lashing out. But when Lord Shen hears a prophecy that warns of his demise, he does more than lash out.
The young lord set out to change his fate. But what he did next only sealed it.
Interpreting the phrase, a warrior of black and white, to mean he'd die at the hands of a panda, Shen orchestrates an attack on a village of them.
Get them all!
While some of them survived, including young Po, many were killed, notably Po's mother. Seeing her desperately stash baby Po away to sacrifice herself was enough to bring tears to our eyes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Pharaoh Seti's treatment of babies. The Prince of Egypt.
The Hebrews grew too numerous. They might have risen against us.
This movie musical certainly packs a dramatic punch. It tells the biblical story of Moses from the book of Exodus, which has no shortage of intense moments. Right in the opening sequence, Hebrew babies are permanently ripped from their families. Moses may have suffered from the same fate had he not been sent down the river in a basket by his mother. While that tragedy was averted, it's still no smooth sailing. When Moses grows up, he learns that his adoptive father, Pharaoh Seti, was the one who orchestrated the fates of those children. As far as messed up moments go, learning that ugly truth about your father figure is definitely up there.
Oh, my son, they were only slaves.
Is there a dark DreamWorks moment that we missed? Let us know in the comments.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.